Hello dear students. So this is a quick slideshow just to provide you with corrections regarding practice 1. Well, the first activity was about making distinctions as far as key definitions are concerned. As we see here, I gave you format, documentation of sources, MLA container, which is very important by the way, DOI, and database. So for format, it means style, it means convention that the student, the teacher, or the scholar should follow in order to respect a particular guidelines of particular style of documentation. When it comes to documentation of sources, it means to provide details about the visible, or what we call the key features of documentation. And here we talk about providing essential information about the author of the book, the title of the book, or the type of the source, if it's a book, an article, a novel, a poem, or whatever. MLA, as we said, it's an abbreviation for Modern Language Association, which we had a long theoretical insight about it. Container here, it means location, and here we have two types. Academic container, which where the source is located, academically speaking, in a book, or in an article, or in a novel, or in a poem, or it means the physical location of the information that you have quoted or paraphrased. And then we have the second type of container, as we said, it's digital, and we are going to answer this I think in activity 3. DOI here, it's DOI, it means digital object identifier, and it's the unique number that identify mainly articles on particular websites or database, and we are going to define it. Yes, database here, it means a location, which a digital location which contains we could say millions or countless articles which are categorized using alphabetical order, or by author, or any type of coding. And I can give you example here. Here, as you see, we have a GStore database which contains a lot of articles about different disciplines. All what you need to do is to log in, and you can have access to read some articles for free. Yes, and here you just type what kind of article you want, and they are going to get it here. Activity 3, it's about asking you a question. What's the difference between a style of documentation that focuses on rules and the one which focuses on the process and the expectation of the audience, or what we call universal guidelines? And here the answer is so easy. The only difference is that a style of documentation that focuses on rules, which means here previous editions before the 8th edition, you should first focus on the format of how to cite the book. After that, you follow exactly the codes of the citation. And in this case, if you have something new, a new medium, like for example, let's say a database, or for example, have a system of videos, you should wait for the format, or you should wait for the Modern Language Association to provide you with a particular format to follow. After that, you are going to do that. And that means you cannot be creative, you cannot be on your own. You have only to wait for rules and codes, and you are going just to follow that. And when you read the source, you should ask yourself this question: is it a book? Okay, if it is a book, go and follow the format of citing a book. If it is an article, go and follow that particular one, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to to the second one, here it's quite different. It's you should follow. It's a bit flexible. You should follow on the visible key features, or what we call the container system, and then you follow the chart of identification. After that, you are going to put them in works cited entry, as I have explained in the lecture. You can come back to the lecture and see how you put, or how you are going to identify the visible key features of identification, or of citation, or of documentation. After that, you are going to transform them in a works cited entry. So according to the second type here, there is no need to wait for MLA 9th edition, 10th edition, or 11th edition to provide you with more rules, because they ask you just to follow one rule, which is just identify the 9 features of identification, put them in the chart of identification. After that, transform them as they are by follow that punctuation that is found in the chart of identification. And here we are. You are going to have an in-text citation, a works cited list that is easy to follow. And even if you have new medium, something new that is invented on internet, there is no need to wait for its format to emerge and to follow it. You can just be creative and look for the 9 features that are common almost in all sources. Activity 3 was about comparing between an academic container and a digital container. Well, an academic container, it's the physical location where you can find the information that you quote or you paraphrase. And when we say the physical location here, it could be a book, it could be an article, it could be a magazine, it could be whatever, something that is physically located. The digital container, it means the container of the academic container. The digital container, it means where you can find the academic container on internet. It could be a database, it could be a website, it could be something that is digital, and it has, for example, DOI, or it has a link or something like that. And what we can deduce from this is that you can have an information that is located in a physical container, and that physical container, that is a book or an article, is located in a digital container. So it looks like the digital container today is the bigger container that contains everything. Activity 4, it was about filling the gaps with correct answers. And here it is very important to read the polycopy or the handout. Make sure to understand it, and you should after that use it as a tool to answer this activity. So the core features that most sources share or have, this is what makes these guidelines universal, efficient, and easy. They are, of course, as I said before, you can say 9 features if you are not going to count the containers. 9 features, and you can find them in the chart of identification. They are located in 3 containers, as we said. Container 1 is the lead information that you can find an author and title of source. After that, we have the academic container, in which you find title of container, other contributors, version, number, publisher, publication date, and location. And after that, we have the same features, or you can only count the digital location in the digital container. which is the third one. And as I said, the digital container, it's open, and you can find other contributors, version, number, publisher, publication date, and location. But according to my experience, in the meantime, and we are living in 2021, I think you need the digital container just for location and the title of container so far. Maybe with the coming years we are going to have other contributors, version, number, and stuff to fill in. Yeah. Then we have MLA style was founded by, and here it's about Professor Aaron Marshall Elliott in 1883, and we talked about the history of MLA and how it started first by through a conference discussing the new paradigm of modern languages and research in the modern languages. And here we talk about English, French and German compared to the ancient languages, Greek and Latin. Then we have cite simple traits shared by most works means to, and here of course when we talk or when we say cite simple traits shared by most works, we talk about the most visible core features of documentation, and here that are located of course in the three containers, in the lead information, in container 1 and container 2. After that I gave you, or I talked, or I asked you to make a difference or to fill the gaps about inductive method, deductive method, and the eclectic method. Well, the inductive method, as I said, it starts from the field and then you move to generalization. We can talk here about starting exploring things through scientific observation, and after that you come up with findings, and then you generalize. So moving from the specific to from the specific to the general. The deductive method is the opposite. It's like you have theoretical rules, and then from that theoretical rules you are going to generate specific case studies or or conclusions. The eclectic method, of course, what I'm talking here about is an introduction to inductive deductive method, because in the third year you are going to explore these two approaches or research approaches, and you're going to see their pivotal role in constructing what we call today the scientific approach. Yes, the eclectic method, it's a mixed method in which you are going to adopt different approaches in order to different approaches that you find reliable and suitable to your case study, and that's the guide or the guideline to the corrections of practice 1.